beyond. I can't believe those numbers on those names. That's too good. We've seen so many. God has ordained a host of really obvious 8 times triple 8s to come straight into my face this year through the newspaper. Victor Espinosa, the jockey who won the Triple Crown in horse racing for the first time in decades. And that was a God story because he rode sheep and goats as a young Mexican child growing up. That's all he ever wanted to do. God story. Okay? It's called just being who God made you, really. Victor Espinosa, 8 times triple 8. Andre Tyler Iguodala, the Christian MVP, winner of the MVP, the NBA Finals MVP. He's the most outspoken Christian and the strongest spiritual force on that team. The whole team accredited him as being an anchor. Outspoken man. As soon as, right after the game, he said, God is great, God is great. He just gives glory to Jehovah every time as he opens his mouth. Andre Tyler Iguodala, 8 times triple 8. That's 192. 8 times 24. 8 times triple 8. Now Celine Dion plus her husband, Renee Angelillo, 8 times triple 8. Whoa. And there's one more that's just for some reason escaping me right now. Oh yeah, Andre DeGrasse tying for third with Mr. Lane number 3. Trayvon Brommel, 8 times triple 8 in number 3 lane. And then DeGrasse down here in lane number 9, dead even for number 3. Andre DeGrasse is 120, which is exactly triple of triple 8's less, dividing by triple 8 as well. So, I'm telling you, fame has been solved. It's not a mystery. It's not complicated. Okay? The numbers of the names of people point to Jehovah. Okay? Certain people are more famous than others because they have numbers of their name. You know, just, it is what it is. And you have the opportunity to give birth to children that you can stick mathematically perfect names on and watch what Jehovah does with them. In my opinion, this is what we would call like the anti-abortion movement. It's like now parents are extra excited to have kids. Like, what? You mean if I name my children to the glory of Jehovah and raise them in the faith and in the truth of Jesus Christ? Like, they'll be such a blessing to not only themselves and the whole world and myself, but it's like, yes, have children. Do not abort babies. Have children and give them mathematically gorgeous names that honor Jehovah, who is love, and raise them in faith, and God will bless them and he'll do amazing things in their lives. Okay. For example, if I had a child whose name was Love Jehovah Kubi, that is perfectly to love plus love plus love. That is a perfect example of a mathematically perfect name that is destined for fame. In Jehovah, all through the Bible, there are Jewish people that said, may their name be famous in Israel. They wished the blessing of fame, righteous fame, upon the children of righteous parents. They say, may their name be famous in Israel. Absolutely. What parent doesn't want their child's name to be famous for a good reason? It's like if you had an option. Say I'm a dad. Do you want your son to be famous for a good reason or not famous? I'm going to pick famous for a good reason. Well, stick a name on the boy that's mathematically perfect to the glory of Jehovah. Done. Okay? And then raise him in love. There you go. It's not complicated, people. It's not complicated. If God is logical, and everything that we do in our lives is logical, and we appreciate logic, and we want to understand why certain people are more famous than others, and we want a logical reason for it all, it just makes perfect sense. It's like, of course this is the truth. There's trillions of watching angels that need to see the logic of all this adding up. It's like, why is Abraham Lincoln so famous? Well, because Abraham Lincoln adds to 1, 2, 3 perfectly. The same value as Jehovah is God. Same value as gold bullion and Fort Knox, where the gold bullion lives, and gold plus silver. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Abraham Lincoln, do the math yourself, equals 123. Done. Done. Now you know why he's so famous. It's that simple. His name is mathematically perfect to glorify Jehovah, who actually foreordained his name, and so you really can't get ahead of God, so to speak. He was always ahead of you, but now he's just kind of awakening us and inviting us into the participation, into the preamble. It's like, okay, I'm going to have a baby. My wife is pregnant. We got 9 months to figure out a mathematically gorgeous name that's going to glorify Jehovah the whole life long that this child is alive. Honey, we got 9 months to work on this. This is not a complicated homework problem. Let's do this together. We'll get out our pencils and our calculator. Like I said, here's a perfect example. My last name is Kubi. If I gave birth to a baby, let's say she's a girl, and I call her Love, Jehovah, Kubi, that adds to love plus love plus love perfectly. And it glorifies the greatest commandment, which is to love Jehovah. Perfect. It's a perfect example of a perfect name, semantically and mathematically, that Jehovah would just be nuts over and bless the kid like crazy. Because Jehovah loves his own name. He has to. He's the greatest of all. He's the name above all names. Well, if Jehovah loves his own name like crazy, then when you stick Jehovah's name on that child, Jehovah therefore wants to bless that child like crazy because his name is attached. Jehovah doesn't want his name like dripping with shame. No, he wants his name like massively glorious. So you stick Jehovah's name on the child and Jehovah takes over. And you want Jehovah to take over, believe me, because he's a lot more loving and a lot more resourceful and a lot more powerful than we are. It felt good to get that out. You just got to get the truth out. People need to just wake up and confess, say, yeah, he's right. It's like we can do better than this as fathers, you know. There you go. Welcome to the truth. Welcome to the inside track on what God has been up to. It's not a mystery. Just accept it. Enter into the blessing. Give birth to like 24 kids. Name them all mathematically beautiful. Put love as one of their middle names. Put Jehovah. Why not put love Jehovah as their two middle names? If it was God's will that I got married and my wife and I had like 24 kids or something ridiculous like that, if all of them had the middle name Love, Jehovah, and then the last name Kubi, the last three names add to love plus love plus love, and then for a first name we could pick all first names that divide by 3. For example, the word charity divides by 3. So a girl's name, Charity, Love, Jehovah, Kubi. It's pure heaven before all the angels and God himself. So now you've got an army of the spiritual host, God Almighty, literally dumping all over this kid day and night, making sure that they're a clinical angel in the story of God. Okay? Because they were named by righteous parents in faith to the glory of Jehovah. And whatever you do in faith to glorify the name of Jehovah, Jehovah honors. Done. Done. Done! It's that simple! Pull out your pencil and start working on the baby names. And craft them. And start having the kids. And start raising the kids. And everyone's going to have fun doing this. It's like, this is the perfect gift for people to partake of. And then come up with new names that no one has ever had in the history of the universe. But make sure the numbers are mathematically gorgeous to scream out love. 27 plus 27. Threes, 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 threes. God is 3 persons. Okay? There you go. There you go. Just, pick all names that divide by 3. Why not? Fiona. There's a famous female name that divides by 3. My sister, Helena, a triple of 15s. Just go nuts. Male names, female names. Some of the most obvious, famous, repeated ones that are very, well worn in world history that are English that divide by 3. George, Mary, James. Like King James, King George, Queen Mary. Like Mary equals George, AAA. James is a double of AAAs. Those are like staples, and then Smith, equals Jehovah. Those are so well worn and so well used and so obvious for the number 3 already. But I'd like to see people get creative with this, Okay, you get the idea. It's pretty simple. Okay, so the harvest continueth. That is incredible. I knew there was an awesome love story behind Celine and her husband, but the numbers on that are just too perfect. And then, man, talk about revolutionizing relationships. It's like people will be... I'm seriously, I check the numbers on my name and someone else's first name everywhere I go. I'm like, oh, that's why I feel more attracted to this person than, for example, this other person in the room. I'm like, oh, yeah, there's an extra special connection between you and me in particular. My name plus your name knits together to make a gorgeous multiple of 3. Aha! Because I have the inside track on what God has ordained in His story, where things always combine to knit together to make multiples of 3, and sometimes it's like a group effort where it's like my name is together with theirs to make a multiple of 3, and then here comes the person that has their first name that divides by 3, and they're just happy to hang out like the social butterfly, and so the 3 of us have fun together, but I also have fun together with that person, but if it was just the 2 of us together, it wouldn't be quite as cool as if it was me and them, and so we solve team chemistry essentially. Genius. All based on the truth that God is sovereign. And every name is exactly the way it's supposed to be right now. Everyone wants a piece of this. Everyone wants a piece of pole vaulter Sean Barber. It's like, da-da-da. Rather, God is sovereign and just wants to make sure people know about this, and most of all, that I'm preaching on this. There he is. Over the bar. Started as a 4-year-old. Jumping ditches in the family farm. Aww. You know, look at how tall Usain is compared to the grass. David and Goliath. The love. Oh, look, this is on page 54, which equals love. I just, you know, it's just an endless source of pleasure, treasure hunting, all this stuff. Like I say, folks, once you live for the name of Jehovah, it's endless satisfaction, because you don't really care what happens in your personal life, so to speak, for your own name. You're just so excited about Jehovah's name, and what I'm in love with it. I gotta dig up. This is amazing. This is a good spread on the Blue Jays. So God is blessing the Toronto Blue Jays. They're just winning like crazy. And I'm particularly curious about their pitcher, who on his back is written the last name Dickey. My last name divides by 3, Kubi. Dickey divides by 3. It is 57. Wow, that equals George equals Mary equals 888 by the law of prime. Dickey, the famous pitcher, starting pitcher. Oh, and that's David Price. Excuse me. Well, Price divides by 3. So Price on his back is 21 plus 48, 51. Said he immediately noticed the chemistry in the Toronto Blue Jays simulation. Well, there you go. Both of their pitchers, Price and Dickey. Anyways, you can just keep having fun with this. Obviously, you would spend more time in areas that truly pique your personal interest. If you're into a certain area, sure, dig up gems in that gold mine. If you're a German, sure, solve gems in the German language. But I love preaching on the fact that you should live for the name of Jehovah. Oh look, Whistler Bungee. Bungee equals love. You know, you can do fun stuff like this if you really want to. There are people out there that actually do love bungee jumping. Bungee and jump both divide by 3. Whistler divides by 3. Here's an ad for Whistler Bungee. You're just like, I personally, I'm not a fan of like risking anything for some kind of cheap thrill. But apparently it's like, okay, anyways. Some people are different from me, and that's the truth. Okay. There you go. Very good. Fun stuff. Amazing gems this morning, as always.